I said, "That armor looks amazing on you." The alien princess smiled and replied, "Oh really, human?" Marcus Chen stood at the entrance of the Great Hall, trying not to show his nervousness. The Zephyrian Palace was unlike anything he had ever seen. Tall crystal pillars reached up to a ceiling that seemed to touch the clouds. Light danced through the walls like trapped rainbows. Everything here made him feel very small. He was Earth's first ambassador to the Zephyrian Empire. This was his biggest mission yet. The peace talks today would decide if humans could join the galaxy's community of friendly planets. No pressure at all, he thought to himself. "Ambassador Chen?" a voice called from behind him. Marcus turned around and saw a tall alien with blue skin and silver markings on his face. The alien wore fancy robes that sparkled in the light. "I am Minister Vex," the alien said with a bow. "Welcome to our world. Are you ready to meet our leaders?" "Yes, thank you," Marcus replied, straightening his simple black suit. He felt plain next to all the beautiful things around him, Minister. Vex led him through several halls filled with other diplomats from different worlds. Marcus saw beings with scales, others with multiple arms, and some that looked like walking trees. He was the only human here. The other ambassadors arrived yesterday, Minister Vex explained as they walked. They have already begun informal discussions. Marcus nodded, but he noticed something strange. The other diplomats seemed relaxed, almost bored. They talked and laughed like they were at a party, not important peace talks. This didn't feel right to him. They entered a huge room with a throne at the far end. Many aliens in colorful clothes stood around talking. Marcus expected to see the king or queen, but the throne was empty. "Where is the royal family?" Marcus asked. "Oh, the king is busy with other matters," Minister Vex said quickly. "But don't worry. Princess Lirelei will handle the talks today." The way he said it made Marcus think the princess was not very important. Several other diplomats nearby laughed quietly when they heard her name. "The princess is young," said an ambassador with red scales. "She likes to play dress-up as a warrior. Very cute, but not serious." Marcus frowned. Something about this didn't sound right, but before he could ask more questions, the great doors opened. Princess Lirelei walked into the room. Marcus forgot to breathe. She wasn't what he expected at all. The princess was tall and moved like a dancer, but her eyes were sharp and alert. She wore armor that was both beautiful and clearly functional. The metal was a dark blue color that matched her skin, with silver designs that seemed to flow like water. But what caught Marcus's attention were the scratches and dents in the armor. This wasn't costume jewelry. This was real battle gear that had seen real fights. The other diplomats barely looked at her. They continued their conversations as if she wasn't there. Some even turned their backs to her. Out. Marcus felt angry seeing this disrespect. Princess Lirelei walked straight toward the group, her armor making soft musical sounds with each step. When she reached them, most diplomats gave her quick, shallow bows and went back to ignoring her. But Marcus stepped forward and gave her a proper bow, the kind he would give to any important leader. "Your Highness," he said clearly, "I'm Ambassador Marcus Chen from Earth." Princess Lirelei looked at him with surprise. Her eyes were a bright golden color, and they seemed to study everything about him in just a few seconds. "Welcome, human," she said. Her voice was strong and clear. "I have heard interesting things about your people." Marcus looked at her armor. Again, up close, he could see more details. The scratches weren't random. They told a story of many battles. The armor fit her perfectly, like it was made just for her body and fighting style. This was the gear of someone who had real experience in combat. "That armor looks amazing on you, Marcus," said honestly. The room went quiet. Every conversation stopped. All eyes turned to look at Marcus and the princess. Princess Lirelei's golden eyes widened slightly. A small smile appeared on her lips. "Oh, really, human?" she asked. There was something in her voice. Surprise, interest, maybe even respect. "Yes," Marcus said, not backing down even though everyone was staring. "It's not just beautiful. It's clearly been tested in real battle. That takes courage." The other diplomats looked shocked. Some whispered to each other. The red-scaled ambassador from earlier shook his head like Marcus had said something foolish. Princess Liralay's smile grew bigger. She stood a little straighter, and suddenly Marcus could see the warrior that the armor represented. "You have good eyes, Ambassador Chen," she said. "Most people only see the pretty decorations." "Don't know what to look for," Marcus replied. "I've seen enough soldiers to recognize real gear when I see it." "Soldiers?" Princess Liralay asked. "You have military experience?" "Some," Marcus said. "Before I became a diplomat, I served in Earth's defense forces. Nothing as fancy as what you wear, but I understand what it means to put on armor and stand." "Ready to protect others?" Princess Liralay nodded slowly.
Ow.
Something had changed in the way she looked at him. The other diplomats still seemed confused, but Marcus felt like he had just passed some kind of test. "Tell me, Ambassador Chen," the princess said, "what do you know about the purpose of these talks?" Marcus thought carefully before answering. "We were told they were peace negotiations. A chance for Earth to join the galactic community as friends and allies." "And what would you be willing to do to earn that friendship?" she asked. The question felt important, like his answer would matter more than anything else he said today. "Whatever it takes to prove that humans are worth trusting," Marcus said simply. "We're not perfect, but we believe in helping others, in keeping our promises." Princess Liralay looked at him for a long moment. Then she looked at the other diplomats who were still watching with confusion and some irritation. "Interesting," she said quietly. "Very interesting indeed." Marcus had the feeling that these peace talks were going to be nothing like what anyone had told him to expect. Princess Liralay was about to say something more when a loud alarm began to sound throughout the palace. The beautiful crystal walls suddenly flashed red, and a voice spoke in the Zephyrian language from hidden speakers. Marcus couldn't understand the words, but he could tell from everyone's faces that something was very wrong. "What's happening?" he asked Princess Liralay. Her golden eyes had become hard and focused. She was no longer the polite royal host. Now she looked like the warrior her armor suggested. "Raiders," she said simply. "They're attacking the capital." The other diplomats immediately started panicking. The red-scaled ambassador grabbed Minister Vex's arm. "Where are the bunkers?" he demanded. "We need to get to safety right now. This way, quickly," Minister Vex shouted, pointing toward a side door.
Aye.
"The emergency shelters are underground."
Aye.
All the diplomats rushed toward the exit, pushing and shoving each other in their fear. Moments, the Great Hall was almost empty except for Marcus and Princess Liralay. "Aren't you going with them?" she asked Marcus, surprised. Marcus looked toward the door where the diplomats had disappeared, then looked back at her. "Are you going to hide in a bunker while your people are under attack?" Princess Liralay's eyebrows raised. "Of course not. This is my world, my people. I have a duty to protect them." "Then I'm staying too," Marcus said firmly. "Why?" she asked. "This isn't your fight. You barely know us." Marcus thought about her question. Why was he staying? He could give a diplomatic answer about building trust or showing good faith. But the real reason was simpler than that. "Because it's the right thing to do," he said. "Where I come from, you don't run away when innocent people need help." Princess Liralay stared at him for a moment, then nodded with respect. She said, heading toward a different door, "If you're going to help, you'll need to understand what we're facing." They ran through several corridors until they reached a balcony that looked out over the city. Marcus could see the problem immediately. Strange black ships were flying over the buildings, shooting energy beams at anything that moved. People were running in the streets, trying to find shelter. "Who are they?" Marcus asked. "The Void Raiders," Princess Liralay explained as she checked her armor's weapon systems. "They attack peaceful worlds, steal what they can, and destroy what they can't take. They've been hitting border planets for months." "How many defenders do you have?" "Not enough," she admitted. "Most of our fleet is protecting other worlds. Palace Guard is brave, but they're designed to handle ceremonies, not real battles." Marcus studied the situation. The raiders were using hit-and-run tactics, striking fast and moving before defenders could respond. It was smart, but Marcus had seen similar attacks during his military service. "What about civilians?" he asked. "Are they all in shelters?" "Some are, but many are trapped in the outer districts." The raiders cut off the main evacuation routes. Marcus's mind started working. This wasn't hopeless. It just required a different approach than what the defenders were trying. "Do you have communication with your guard units?" he asked. Double quotes, yes. "But do you have any kind of local militia? Citizens with basic training?" Princess Lirelei looked confused. "Some civilians have emergency training, but they're not soldiers." "Why?" "Because soldiers aren't the only ones who can fight," Marcus said. "Sometimes the best defense comes from people who know their home better than any army." He pulled out a small device from his pocket, a basic tactical computer that every Earth's diplomat carried for emergencies. "Can you connect this to your communication system?" he asked. Princess Lirelei touched her armor, and a small port opened up. Marcus connected his device, and suddenly he could see the locations of all friendly forces on a digital map. "Incredible," she said. "I can see everything." "Good. Now, the raiders are using speed and surprise, but they're making a mistake. They're attacking in straight lines, which means they're predictable." Marcus pointed to several spots on the map. "If we position small groups here, here, and here, we can create a trap. The raiders will think they're hitting easy targets, but instead they'll fly right into a crossfire." "But we don't have enough trained soldiers for that many positions," Princess Lirelei protested. "We don't need soldiers," Marcus explained. "Need people who know the buildings, the streets, the hiding spots. Citizens can be our eyes and ears, can guide your guards to the best positions and warn them when raiders are coming." Princess Lirelei was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then she started sending messages through her armor's communication system. "Attention all units," she broadcast. "This is Princess Lirelei. We're changing tactics. All civilians with emergency training, report to your district leaders. Akel guard units, prepare for new positioning orders." Over the next 20 minutes, Marcus helped coordinate the defense, used his knowledge of human military tactics, but adapted them for the alien city and defenders. Citizens became spotters, reporting raider movements from hidden positions. Guard units moved to places where they could strike and then quickly hide. Princess Lirelei fought alongside her people. But Marcus noticed she also listened to his suggestions and passed them on to her forces. She was a natural leader, but she was also smart enough to use good ideas no matter where they came from. The plan worked better than Marcus had hoped. When the raiders made their next attack run, they flew right into prepared positions. Zephyrian guards hit them from multiple angles while civilians guided escape routes for trapped people. "It's working," Princess Lirelei said as they watched. 3 raider ships retreat with damage. "They're pulling back." But Marcus was watching his tactical display, and he saw something that worried him. "This was just a test," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" "Look at the pattern. They hit us. We responded. Now they're studying our defenses. They're learning how we fight." Marcus pointed to his screen. "And there are more ships coming. A lot more." Princess Lirelei's face went pale. "How many more?" Marcus counted the signals. On his display, at least 50 ships. Maybe more. The first attack had been just the beginning. The real battle was still coming. Princess Lirelei stared at Marcus's tactical display showing the incoming raider fleet. For a long moment, she was completely silent. Then she did something Marcus didn't expect. She started laughing. "Your Highness?" Marcus asked, confused. "Did I say something wrong?" She shook her head, still smiling. "No, Ambassador Chen, you said everything exactly right." She touched a control on her armor, and the tactical display changed. "But there's something I need to tell you about those ships." Marcus looked at the screen again. The raider signals were still there, but now there were other signals too. Friendly ones, positioned in a perfect defensive formation around the planet. "I don't understand," Marcus said. "The raiders you helped us fight were real," Princess Lirelei explained. "But the big fleet coming toward us? Those are Zephyrian defense ships. They've been watching this entire time." Marcus felt like someone had just told him the sky was actually green. But ... the alarm, ... The attack was real, she said firmly. The raiders have been hitting our outer colonies for months. When they showed up here today, we had to fight them. But Marcus, ... She paused and looked directly into his eyes. The peace negotiations. Those were never real. What do you mean? Princess Lirelei walked over to the balcony railing and looked out over her city. The buildings were damaged, but people were already coming out to help each other. No one looked surprised by the attack. My people have been watching Earth for 3 years, she said. We've seen how humans fight, how they treat each other, how they handle problems. But watching from far away doesn't tell us everything we need to know. Marcus was starting to understand, but he didn't like where this was going. So you brought me here to test me, he said. Not just you. We've been testing ambassadors from different species for months. Each time we create a situation where they have to make choices that show us who they really are. Marcus thought about the other diplomats who had run to the bunkers. The others failed the test. Not failed, Princess Lirelei said carefully. They reacted normally. When danger came, they protected themselves first. That's smart and reasonable. But not what you were looking for. No. She turned back to face him. Marcus, my people are not just looking for trade partners or allies. For good times. We're looking for friends who will stand with us when everything goes wrong. Marcus leaned against the wall, trying to process everything. So all of this, the peace talks, the other diplomats, even the way everyone treated you like you weren't important, it was all an act. Princess Lirelei's expression became sad. Not all of it. The way the other diplomats treated me. That's very real. Most species in the galaxy see me as a pretty decoration, not a real leader. But you are a real leader, Marcus said. I could see that from the moment you walked into the room. How? Marcus pointed to her armor. You told me. Not with words. But with this, every scratch, every dent, they're like medals. They show that you've been in real fights, protecting real people. Leaders who just give orders from safe places don't get scars like that. Princess Lirelei touched one of the deeper scratches on her arm guard. This one is from the Battle of Kepler Station. I was trying to rescue civilians when the raiders broke through our lines. And this one, Marcus pointed to a burn mark on her shoulder. Sigma Colony. A reactor was going to explode, and someone had to stay behind to make sure the evacuation. Ships got away safely. Marcus nodded. You don't get marks like that from staying in palaces. No, you don't. She smiled sadly. My father thinks I take too many risks. He wants me to be a proper princess, attend ceremonies, make speeches, marry some prince from a powerful world. No. I'm a soldier who happens to be a princess. And my people need soldiers right now, not ceremony. Marcus understood now why she had tested him the way she did. The raiders that attacked today, they're not just random pirates, are they? No, they're part of something bigger. We've been tracking them for over a year, trying to figure out their pattern. They hit colony worlds, steal resources, and then disappear before help can arrive. And you think they're building up for something major? Princess Lirelei nodded. Our intelligence suggests they're planning to attack one of the major trade hubs. If they succeed, they could cut off supply lines to dozens of worlds, including Earth. Including Earth. Marcus was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he asked, So when you brought me here and created this test, what exactly were you hoping to find? Someone who would choose to help strangers even when it put them in danger, she said. Someone who could think of new solutions when old ones weren't working. Someone who understood that real strength isn't about having the biggest weapons. It's about having the courage to use whatever you have to protect others. And you think humans have those qualities? Princess Lirelei smiled. Marcus, in the past hour, you've proven that humans have exactly those qualities. When the attack started, you could have run to safety with the other diplomats. Instead, you stayed to help people you barely knew. It seemed like the right thing to do. That's exactly my point, she said. For you, it wasn't even a difficult choice. You saw people in danger, and you automatically wanted to help. Marcus thought about his own people back on Earth. No, humans aren't perfect. We make mistakes. We fight with each other sometimes. We don't always make the smartest decisions. No species is perfect, Princess Lirelei said. But perfection isn't what we're looking for. We're looking for people who will stand up when it matters, even when it's hard. So what happens now? Marcus asked. Princess Lirelei's expression became serious again. Now comes the real test. The raiders who attacked today got away, but they'll be back. And when they come, they'll bring everything they have. When soon? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. But soon. She looked at Marcus. Carefully, the question is, now that you know this was all a test, do you still want to help? Marcus didn't hesitate. Yes, even though it means real danger. Even though you could die fighting for a world that isn't your home. Princess, I've learned something today too, Marcus said. When good people are in trouble, everywhere is. Home, Princess Lirelei smiled, the first truly happy smile he had seen from her. In that case, Ambassador Chen, let me show you what we're really up against. 3 days later, Marcus stood in the Zephyrian war room surrounded by military officers from 6 different species. The holographic display in the center showed a sight that made everyone's faces. Grim, over 200 raider ships approaching. The planet. They'll be here in 4 hours, announced Commander Thex, a tall alien with gray skin and 4 arms. Our defense fleet has 37 ships. The math is simple. We should evacuate immediately, said another officer. Get the civilians off-world while we still can. Princess Lirelei studied the display with tired eyes. She had barely slept since the first attack, coordinating defenses and trying to find a solution that didn't exist. How many civilian transports do we have? She asked. 12, Commander Thex replied. Each can carry about 1,000 people. Capital has 3 million residents, Princess Lirelei said quietly. Can't save them all. The room fell silent. Marcus looked around. At the faces of the alien officers, he could see defeat in their eyes. They were good people, brave soldiers, but they were looking at an impossible situation and seeing only one ending. What about the other colonies? Asked an officer with scales. If we surrender here, maybe the raiders will leave them alone. No, Princess Lirelei said firmly. The raiders don't make deals. They take what they want and destroy everything else. If we give up here, we're just delaying the inevitable. Marcus had been quiet during the discussion, but now he stepped forward. What if we don't fight them the way they expect? Everyone turned to look at him. Commander Thex frowned. What do you mean, human? I mean, everyone's thinking about this like a traditional space battle. Our ships against their ships, fighting in open space where they have all the advantages. That's how space battles work, Commander Thex said impatiently. On Earth, we have a saying, Marcus replied. If you can't win a fair fight, don't fight. Fair. Princess Lirelei's eyes lit up with interest. What are you thinking? Marcus walked over to the holographic display and manipulated the controls. The image changed to show the planet's surface with its cities, mountains, and oceans. The raiders are coming here to steal resources and destroy what they can't take, he said. But what if there's nothing here for them to find? You want us to hide everything? Asked an officer. Better than that, Marcus said. I want us to make them think they've already won, then hit them when they're not ready for it. Touched the display again, and it showed the raider attack pattern from their intelligence reports. Look at how they operate. They attack from space first, destroying defenses. Then they land troops to collect what they want. They're used to enemies who either run away or try to fight them ship to ship. So what do you suggest? Princess Lirelei asked. Marcus smiled. We give them what they expect, but not what they want. Over the next hour, Marcus explained his plan. It was crazy, dangerous, and required perfect timing. But as he talked, he could see the hope returning to the faces around him. Fleet will engage them in space, but not to win, he explained. Just to make noise and draw their attention. Make it look like a desperate last stand. But our pilots will be destroyed, Commander Thex protested. Not if they follow the plan, Marcus said. Fight for exactly 20 minutes, then retreat to the emergency bases we've set up in the asteroid field. The raiders will think they've won, and then they'll land troops in the cities to start looting. But the cities will be empty. We'll have moved everyone to underground shelters beforehand. Princess Lirelei was studying the plan carefully. But when the raiders find empty cities, they'll know it's a trap. By then, it will be too late, Marcus said. Because while they're on the ground looking for things to steal, our real attack begins. He showed them the underground tunnel systems that connected different parts of the city. We hit their landed ships from below using the tunnels. Small teams with heavy weapons, striking fast and disappearing before they can respond. Guerrilla warfare, Princess Lirelei said with understanding. Exactly. And while we're keeping their ground troops busy, our fleet comes back from the asteroid field and hits their ships from behind. Commander Thex looked doubtful. This plan requires too many things to go perfectly, if any part fails. If we do nothing, we definitely lose, Marcus pointed out. This way, we at least have a chance. An older officer with wise eyes spoke up. Human, why are you so willing to risk everything for our world? You could leave with the other diplomats. Marcus thought about the question. Because running away doesn't solve the problem. If the raiders take this world, they'll just move on to the next one. Eventually they'll reach Earth. I'd rather stop them here. With allies who are willing to fight than face them alone later. Princess Lirelei nodded slowly. He's right. This isn't just about our world anymore. It's about stopping the raiders before they become too strong for anyone to handle. But the plan is so risky, another officer said.
Well, the best plans are.
Risky, Marcus replied. Safe plans are what you use when you have better options. We don't. Princess Lirelei stood up. Commander Thex, begin preparations. Alert all units to the new strategy. Your Highness, are you sure about this? No, she said honestly. But I'm sure about him. She looked at Marcus. 3 days. This human has shown me more creative thinking and determination than I've seen in 3 years of diplomatic meetings. If he says this can work, I believe him. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. I can't promise it will work perfectly, he said. But I can promise that if we all do our parts, the raiders will face something they've never seen before? What's that? Commander Thex asked. An enemy that refuses to give up, Marcus said simply. Princess Lirelei smiled and touched her armor. Then let's show them what real warriors can do. The alarm began to sound again. But this time, instead of panic, Marcus saw determination on every face in the room. The final battle was about to begin. Marcus crouched in the underground tunnel beneath the capital's main plaza, listening to the explosions above. Through his communication device, he could hear the space battle happening overhead. So far, everything was going according to plan. Defense Fleet to command, came Commander Thex's voice. We're taking heavy damage. Beginning retreat to asteroid field in 5 minutes. Understood, Princess Lirelei replied from her position in another tunnel. All ground teams, prepare for Phase 2. Marcus checked his equipment one more time. The Zephyrians had given him a suit of their light armor and weapons designed for tunnel fighting. It felt strange after his simple diplomatic clothes, but he was grateful for the protection. Above them, the sounds of battle changed. Explosions became less frequent, then stopped altogether. They're landing, reported a scout. Raider troops coming down in the main square, just like we predicted. Marcus smiled grimly. Thought they had one. Their ships were landed and unguarded while their troops spread out to search for treasure and prisoners. They had no idea what was waiting for them. All teams, this is Princess Lirelei, came the voice through the communicator.
What?
Remember, hit fast and hard, then get out.
What?
Don't try to be heroes. We need everyone alive for this to work. Ready, Ambassador? Asked Sergeant Kex, the Zephyrian soldier assigned to Marcus's team. Ready? Marcus replied, though his heart was beating fast. They climbed up through a hidden entrance that opened behind a damaged building. Marcus could see 3 raider ships, sitting in the plaza, with troops moving around them, carrying stolen goods from other worlds. The raiders were big, ugly creatures with thick skin and too many teeth. They wore heavy armor and carried weapons that could punch holes through buildings. But they were also careless, laughing and fighting over the loot they thought they had already won. Target the ship's engines first, Marcus whispered to his team. If they can't fly, they can't escape. They moved quietly through the rubble until they were close enough to attack. Marcus counted down with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. Underground teams struck all at once. Energy blasts hit the raider ships from 6 different directions. Explosions rocked the plaza as engines and fuel systems took damage. The raiders were caught completely by surprise. They had expected either no resistance or attacks from the sky, not enemies coming up from below. Contact! Contact! One of the raiders shouted in their harsh language. We're under attack, but their confusion worked against them. Some tried to get back to their ships. Others looked for enemies in the sky, and still others shot randomly at shadows. They couldn't figure out where the attacks were coming from. Marcus and his team hit their assigned targets and retreated back into the tunnels before the raiders could organize a response. Within minutes, they were moving through underground passages to their next position. Phase 2 complete. Princess, Lirelei reported. All ground teams successful. Raider ships are damaged but not destroyed. Perfect, Marcus replied. Let them think we're just hit-and-run attacks. Keep them focused on the ground. For the next hour, the pattern repeated. Small teams would appear, strike quickly at raider forces, then disappear back underground. The raiders grew more and more frustrated, unable to pin down their enemies. But Marcus was watching for something specific. Finally, he saw it. Princess. The raiders are calling for air support, he reported. Their command ship is coming down to help with the ground battle. Excellent, she replied. Commander Vex, are you ready? Defense fleet standing by, came the response from the asteroid field. We'll be there in 10 minutes. Critical moment. The raiders' command ship was leaving orbit to help their ground troops. Once it was in the atmosphere, it would be trapped just like the others. Marcus watched through a periscope as the huge command ship descended toward the city. It was 3 times bigger than the other raider ships, bristling with weapons and carrying hundreds more troops. All ground teams get ready for the final phase, Princess Lirelei ordered. This is going to get very dangerous. The command ship landed in the center plaza, crushing several smaller buildings. Its commander, a massive raider with scars covering his face, emerged and began shouting orders at his troops. Now, Princess Lirelei commanded. This time, all the underground teams attacked at once, not just 1 or 2. The entire tunnel network erupted with activity as Zephyrian soldiers poured out of hidden entrances throughout the city. At the same moment, Commander Vex and the defense fleet appeared in the sky, diving down from orbit to attack the grounded raider ships. The raiders suddenly found themselves caught between enemies above and below, with no way to escape. Their ships were too damaged to take off quickly, and they were outnumbered by defenders who knew every street and building. The battle was fierce but short. Without their ships for support, the raiders couldn't stand against the coordinated attack. Within an hour, it was over. Marcus emerged from the tunnels to find Princess Lirelei standing in the plaza, looking at the captured raider commander. Her armor had new scratches from the fighting, but her eyes were bright with victory. It worked, she said when she saw Marcus. Your plan actually worked. I just had the idea. Your people made it happen. Princess Lirelei smiled. No, Marcus, you did more than have an idea. You gave us something we'd almost lost. What's that? Hope, she said simply. And the knowledge that we don't have to face our enemies alone. Later that evening, after the prisoners were secured and the city was safe, Princess Lirelei led Marcus to a private chamber in the palace. On a table sat a set of armor similar to hers but sized for a human. This is for you, she said. Traditional. Is Zephyrian armor, but modified with human design elements, and the best technology from both our worlds. Marcus stared at the beautiful armor. It was dark blue like the princess's, but with silver patterns that reminded him of Earth's constellations. I can't accept this, he said. I'm not a warrior like you. Princess Lirelei shook her head. Marcus, 3 days ago you asked me what my armor meant. Now I'm going to tell you what yours means. She picked up the chest piece and held it toward him. This armor doesn't make you a warrior. You were already that. Just shows others what you've proven to us, that you'll stand and fight when others need protecting, no matter how dangerous it gets. Marcus put on the armor piece by piece. It fit perfectly and somehow felt right, like it belonged to him. So what happens now? He asked. Now you become Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Defense Coalition, Princess Lirelei said. Because we're going to need that human stubbornness and creativity for the challenges ahead. Marcus looked at himself in the mirror. The armor made him look different, stronger, more confident. But he felt the same inside. Your Highness, he said with a smile, that armor looks amazing on you too. Princess Lirelei laughed. The first, truly happy laugh he had heard from her. Oh, really, human, she replied, just like when they first met. But this time, they both understood the deeper meaning behind the words.